these are the second set of Secret Wars figures.
Yeah, and we think that these are from the same year in effect, but they must have released them at a later date in the States. Certainly we did not get these, I don't think.
Probably the year after, or maybe...
I think it was the year after.
Yeah.
I feel sure it was the year after.
I was thinking even these came out more Secret Wars 2.
When the Secret Wars 2 comic came out. Yeah, possibly.
Which might be, what, 86?
Yeah, which it does seem as if, because I'm sure did Secret Wars 2 introduce like Hobgoblin?
I think it did,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean they're the same style figure, and actually we talk about Masters of the Universe being produced by Mattel, and it's something that's noticeable that body parts were reused and repainted just like He-Man figures were. You've already seen the Doom cycle and the Turbo cycle were in effect the same cycle, just like in Masters of the Universe that have kind of Battle Cat, and then Skeletor's version is Panther, or the two different types of eagle that were in Masters of the Universe, so the two robotic horses. So Mattel were very good at kind of reusing the same materials and just kind of tweaking to put on. So you've got basically sort of...
Well, the same bodies for each of those.
Yeah, they are really, in effect. They've definitely...
Probably all of them.
They've
just
sort
with
of...
other bits added to
Well, I think certainly kind of in terms
Captain
of...
America, I think. And
with the Magneto legs and stuff, I think it's just, and it's just making new heads and things for him. But
I mean, the bodies are basic.
Yeah, everything's basic on it.
But it's painted really...
Yeah, I mean, there's different... like that one, obviously, Hobgoblin.
Yeah,
you can see is totally and utterly different. The sculpt on it, and, on the legs and things, it was more specific, and obviously like the back glider that he's got. But we got these, as I say, a lot later, and the only ones we actually managed to get from the second series at the time were Spider-Man in his black alien costume, and Hobgoblin. And I can remember getting these from Co-op.
Yeah,
the old Co-op that was on Parliament Street.
Yeah.
And it had a massive toy floor.
Yeah. Which I think was the top floor.
It was, which they used to kind of at Christmas make into the Santa's grotto and everything, which was really good. Again, you got the shields, Peter. That's exactly the same shield as before, just changing into the black Spider-Man. And you've got the Hobgoblin one, showing him kind of with a transformation from whoever he was before.
Then the
instructions, to put the back glider together, because obviously this
is technical,
really, really technical. That you've got kind of two wings that fit to a body. So
you need that sheet of paper.
You need that sheet of paper, which we've saved fortunately. So that's good. But yeah, the second series are pretty good actually. And I can remember seeing Falcon at the Co-op and not getting it because we basically got those two. But these we've actually picked up a lot later. We've managed to get hold of a lot later. My favourite still is Daredevil. I think that's just such a great figure, such a great design, and I love the new Marvel series as well. And that is a really good figure. Falcon, we managed to pick him up, but he's missing three very important things: a left and a right wing on his back, and also his falcon that he actually carries as well. So unfortunately, we're missing that. And Baron Zemo. He was in a really poor state, wasn't he? And we actually managed to rescue him and restore him. We've restored him a little bit, and he's missing his belt. So the original Spider-Man in the Secret Wars collection is the standard outfit. What I really liked about this as a kid was the fact they'd actually got the webbing, because I think on Amigo ones and stuff they kind of always... I think they'd got the webbing on the Mego one, but the smaller figures were just sort of ingrained into it, sort of carved into it almost. And these just kind of look more like the Spidey that I knew. And they're not everywhere. The webbing's missing on some of the places, but it's just such an iconic design. And I still love that figure. I think it's still my favourite figure. It was my favourite figure until the black Spider-Man one came along, and it's just so cool, and I love the fact that there's a story behind where the black costume came from. So we all know that eventually the costume turns into Venom. It's a symbiote that's actually kind of draining negative energy, I think, off Spider-Man, isn't it, off Peter Parker. But originally, when he was introduced on the Beyonders world, that this was the costume he was going to wear, and he took this back to Earth with him. Jim Shooter in the Secret Wars collected comic, actually in the graphic novel version, actually says that it was suggested by somebody who'd written in, a fan, who it was this idea of him having Reed Richards make him a new kind of suit that was more upgraded and things, and particularly was black because obviously he's a spider and because a lot of his crime fighting comes at night. And Jim Shooter quite liked the idea of that and actually paid the fan to use that idea. It was the only time he ever did that, he said. And we ended up with the black costume. Interestingly, there was another release.
A few releases, wasn't there?
There was 3 releases in Europe that we never saw.
No.
I can't remember ever seeing them in this country. But there's 3 other figures that they actually made: Iceman, Electro, and Constrictor. And I'm guessing those were released in the rest of Europe, but not here.
No, we never saw.
So if anybody's got those figures, we'd love to complete our set. If anybody's got any of the parts that we're missing, please let us know, because I love restoring old toys. I hate to see them in disrepair, and these are ones we just managed to pick up different places over the last over the last few years, wasn't it, to try and complete it. But we think they're just a really great figure, and I don't really know why they didn't take on.
No, I mean,
it just seems that maybe Masters of the Universe and Transformers at that time were quite popular, and these just kind of slipped through.
And I don't know about in America. I mean, it might have been that superpowers were phenomenally a lot better.
Yeah, and certainly, like we said,
which is a strange thing, because probably at that time Marvel were the better.
Yeah,
comic.
Possibly. Yeah, or maybe so. I mean, I think they are infinitely collectible, and they are getting quite difficult to get, really, particularly in a good state. I've seen these come up quite a few times now, but usually there's some kind of damage on them. The paintwork's not very good, so they are worth looking out for. If you're a Marvel fan and you're particularly a fan of the new Secret Wars comic that came out last year, these are worthy of an addition to your set of figures.
Yeah.
So that's our little. Well, we said it was a review. It's kind of been a review and a reminisce about where we got these figures from, as per usual. But that's the whole idea of Geek Force, that we look back at the past to inform our present. So thank you for joining us again.
Geek Force, they circle the idiot test. Geek Force, first the worst, second the best. Traveling to the past without a safety net. Geek Force. Traveling to the past without a safety net. Geek Force. Traveling to the past without a safety net. Geek Force. Traveling to the past without a safety net. Geek Force. Traveling to the past without a safety net. Geek Force.